afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my webinar, which is all about how to grow your sales, even if you actually hate the thought of selling. And for many people, unfortunately, that is the case. People really do hate selling. But first of all, before we get into it, thank you for your time. First of all, it's your most valuable commodity, and you've given me that today for the next 45 minutes to an hour. I'm absolutely delighted to have you all here. I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 secrets for how to grow your sales, even if you don't really like the thought of selling. I will be asking you some questions, so you can use the chat function, which for those of you who are not familiar with Zoom, you should be able to see across the bottom of the screen. And in addition to that, if you've got any questions, I'd like you to use the Q&A function, which is right at the bottom there, or for some of you, it might even be at the top. But where it says Q&A, if you could drop your questions into there, that would be absolutely brilliant. Hello, Shemaine is saying hello. Okay, great. So we are off and running. So without further ado, why should you listen to me for the next 45 minutes to an hour? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? So why should you listen to me? Oh, I didn't mean to do that, did I? We'll just come out of that. Why do you want to listen to me for the next 45 minutes to an hour? Well, this is why potentially you want to listen to me. Well, not potentially, hopefully. So here's the thing. I can't do a press up, right? Not at all. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. I'm also pretty useless at technology. Having said that, I have just wowed my VA with a barcode that's coming up later in this presentation. But here's the thing, I can sell. So I can sell. And I'm going to share some of my secrets about how to grow your sales with you today. And how do you know that I can sell? Well, I'm quite famous for this. Yes, that's right, jelly tots. Selling jelly tots. No, not really. Those are indeed condoms. So I used to work for 𝐒𝐢𝐦𝐥 condoms many moons ago and won Salesperson of the Year in 2007 and 8. Going back a bit now, isn't it? But I sold more condoms, lubricant and sex toys than anyone else worldwide, and that is my little claim to fame. So I definitely can sell. That is the good news. Anything else you might want to know about me? Well, I'm a fellow of the Institute of Sales and Marketing. I'm a certified DISC trainer, which is a behavioral and personality profiling model. I'm TAP certified, which is a training qualification. I'm an accredited coach with the European Mentoring and Coaching Council. Talk about blow your own trumpet. And finally, the year before last, I was a finalist in Sales Training Provider of the Year. There wasn't one last year, at the British Excellence in Marketing and Sales Awards. So you are in very safe hands. Get the 𝐒𝐦𝐥 thing. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so here's a few questions for you. Have you ever found yourself using any of these sales avoidance techniques, or as I like to call them, SATs? Sales avoidance techniques. So I want you to hit me up in the chat right now if any of these sound familiar. Do you find yourself avoiding making sales calls, even if people have perhaps sent you a direct message? Do you sometimes avoid making sales calls? Do you think you have to push somebody into buying your product or service? Are you hiding behind social media posts and then just hoping a queue of people are going to turn up at your front door to buy your product or service? So you are out there every day on every social media platform, but not really doing any sales as such. Are you noticing that you're a bit reliant on referrals? And when those dry up, actually, you know, the river's a bit empty down below. And also, are you finding that you don't have a lead generation strategy? So is that you? I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat. Does that sound familiar? Oh, Hayley says all of the above, but at different times. Aaron says that's right. I think Gary says yes to everything. Caroline says yes. And Danny says yes, that's totally me. And Angela, well, you're all in the right place then. You're definitely all in the right place, because if you're using those sales avoidance techniques, guys, that's probably because you want to grow your sales, but you don't like the thought of selling. So let me just ask you all this question in the chat. What is it we think, or what do even you think, or perhaps some of your customers think when they hear the word sales or the word selling? What sort of emotional words come to mind? Hit me up in the chat. What are the things that you think about? And let's have a look what words you come up with. Yeah, Gary, the old hard sell. Oh, Caroline, how much? How much? Aaron, cringe. I love that. Pushy. Yeah, pressure. Stalking. Angela, that's just you. Angela's our stalker. Exciting. Now, Tony, you and I are in the same sales school there. I'm not going until you buy. I switch off. Right. Okay. So with the exception, I think, of Tony there were some pretty negative connotations about sales and selling, wasn't there? You know, apart from Tony and I who love it, unfortunately, we have a negative connotation. These are the sorts of things, and you know, you mentioned some of them there. What is selling? People think it's sleazy. Oh, that cringe, that toe curl. It might be a bit slimy, a bit kind of like, hey, hi, I'm jiggly. It's pushy. People think it's pushy, and people think it is absolutely, I just can't read the bottom of my slide there, can you tell? Daunting! There it is on my notes. The people think it's really daunting. So all of those negative connotations. Oh, Shemaine says she's getting better after learning from me. That's very kind of you, Shemaine. But those are the sorts of things we feel, but also our customers feel as well. So what should selling be? Well, it definitely shouldn't be any of those things. And I'm going to give you some tactics today. Selling should be the following. Selling should be all about solving people's problems with them and helping them. It should be exciting. Somebody said that, I think it was Tony, and it should be fun. So after the next kind of 45 minutes, I want you to start thinking like that with some of the strategies that I share with you. Selling should be all of those things. It should be solving, it should be helping, exciting and fun. And I can certainly, and my team, help you to start feeling like that about selling. Okay, let's move on. Right, so what is selling? Probably never thought about that before. Well, maybe you have. But selling is actually the exchange of money for a product or service. Ooh, that word money, that's something that makes us go, ooh, a bit uncomfortable. But money is great, yeah? It makes the world go round. And that doesn't matter at all. We should be proud to make money. We should be proud of our businesses. So, you know, selling is that. Don't hide behind that. You know, you do want to make money if you've got a great product or service that people need. However, selling is something else. Selling is also a profession, and it does require skill, training, and practice. And what I will say about selling right now is, are you mastering it, or do you think you're just dabbling? Hit me up in the chat. Are you a sales master, or are you more of a bit of a sales dabbler? Now, the reality is, if you are a dabbler, the ability to sell and to close business and to convert clients is a life-changing skill. Once you learn how to do it, literally the impact on your whole life is massive. So you've got to learn how to do it like a professional. I'm getting loads of comments coming in here. Haley says she's dabbling miserably. Oh, we've got a few dabblers. Somebody dibbles and dabbles. Oh, Gary does a bit of dibbling and dabbling. Aaron says he's completely new on the way to mastery. Finn's always learning. And Jazz feels like I'm consultative. Jazz, that's what I like to hear. That's exactly what we should be doing, is consulting with all our clients. So if you're dabbling right now, you do want to start to becoming a master so that you can start converting clients. It will change your life forever. Okay, let's move on. Next slide. So why do we not like it then? So let's just think about it, yeah? It can change our lives. We can start making lots of money. We want to grow our sales. We know we're avoiding those sales avoidance things, and we need more leads. So why don't we like it? Well, there's one main reason why we don't like it. That is, nobody wants to be sold to. Nobody. We don't want to be sold to, and our customers don't want to be sold to. So think about that for a minute. Think of that experience that you've had right now. I know you've had it, where somebody has actively sold to you. This is what it feels like, right? By the way, there will be props. This is the first of them. It feels like this, right? Gun. Somebody's like this, got a gun to your head. Yeah, they're trying to sell to you, literally. They've got a gun to your head. That is not how we do selling. It might be in the early 70s and 80s with the old Wolf of Wall Street. Those days are gone. Those old-fashioned sales practices, they are awful. We don't go anywhere near that. We don't go through that sort of selling, holding a gun to your head. It feels awful, doesn't it? It feels like you're being held to ransom, or even worse, somebody's literally pushing you. So if you think about what that looks like, you know, somebody's pushing you into something, you're going like this, ooh, you know, it's horrendous. So we need to make it easy for clients to buy. But I want you to ask yourself this question now, be really honest. Do you think, or are you just pushing your products and services onto people, or are you having a consultation, which Jez mentioned, and really pulling out their problems and helping them to solve them with your products or services? Hit me up in the chat. Are you pushing or are you pulling? So basically what I'm saying is, are you on the pull? Let's be honest. Yeah, let's not mess around. That's what we're saying here, isn't it? So are you pushing, or do you think you have to push, or are you pulling? Let's have a look what we've got in the chat. I've got a few things coming in. A Brit mindset. I find out their issues and try to solve them. And I love that. Stephen thinks he's trying to push a bit much. Marie's trying to pull. That all sounds good to me. Okay, great stuff. Pulling, but it's a slow burner, Peter says. Okay, all right, I get you that. I hear you completely. He's happy. Carol is happy pulling, but it has to be problem solving, yeah. Everybody, okay, Hayley says she's learning to pull. Brilliant, okay. And Tony tries to find the pull if he hasn't done enough prep, yes. Do you know what, Tony, that's so well observed, actually. If we don't do the preparation as a sales master, yeah, and we just go in there unprepared and we haven't done our homework, because sales is a real profession that needs lots of practice and skill behind it, we will end up pushing because there's nowhere else to go. I've got a few more comments coming in here. This is great stuff. Yeah, I agree, Shemaine. Prep is key. Rob says he's pushing and pulling depending on the customer. Okay. And actually there is a time to pull, and then there is a time to not push, but to create assertiveness in the close. So just ask yourself that question now. That's great stuff, guys. So how do we do more pulling? This is how we do more pulling. The great news is there are only ever 7 steps to the sale. Yeah, ever. If you want to write these down, by the way, all of you attending, and actually all of you not attending, will all get a copy of this anyway sent to you on email, so you can go back and take pictures and write notes. But write these down. There are only 7 steps to the sale. That's not Ginny Thompson's, that's everybody in the world, no matter what sales training course you've been on, give or take, there are only 7 steps. The first one is lead generation or prospecting. We've got to get that bit right, or else we're screwed, because we need to have a pipeline of leads coming into the business. And that's a massive issue for so many of you, I know. Engagement, we need to be great at building rapport and having relationships. We need to be absolutely brilliant at that. Then we need to get to the problem or the opportunity that we might be able to create for somebody. Number 3 is where all the selling is done. Then and only then do we do number 4, which is presenting the solution. So many business owners start at number 4 and then move back. They start with chili, it's got dry ice, it's got dancing girls, and it's got a buffet. And you're like, I don't need any of those things, but it sounds amazing. Put the phone down. So don't start with number 4. Start with relationships and engagement. Then starting with having a great conversation, which is number 3. That's where the skill of selling really takes place. Then and only then do you present your solution. Then you might have to overcome a few objections. And we'll teach you how to do that through our Sales Skills Mastermind. Then there's a real skill to closing and a real skill to following up as well. Now, quick question for you. If you've done a proposal or a quote, or you said to somebody, right, yeah, I'll be in touch shortly. How many times do you follow up? Hit me up in the chat. What's the average amount of times you follow up once you've spoken to somebody? Could be off the back of a proposal or a quote or something like that. I'm just waiting to hear. Shemaine's cheating because she knows the answer. Okay, Jazz says 1 to 2. Oh, Tony's on it. Look at that. Tony's like a rat up a drain pipe. Look at that. Aaron says 2. Bit of a mixed bag there. Okay. 5, Stella says she likes to give it a good 5 times. Nice work, Stella. I'm loving your work. Okay, depends on whether, yeah, I totally agree, Neil. There is a lot of perhaps, you know, bits and bobs. A lot, Adrian says. Adrian, it probably feels like a lot, doesn't it, even if it isn't. So here's the thing. There's been lots of research done on this from Harvard Business School that says that on average, the average proposal or quote needs to be followed up 5 to 7 times before you will actually get engagement. 5 to 7 times, imagine that. So it is quite a lot. Hayley, I don't follow up always as my clients are vulnerable. Right, well, that's different, Hayley. I think, you know, if you've got those vulnerable clients, however, what you could do is perhaps agree a follow-up with them on that first discussion. I'm unsure how much is too much. Yeah, okay. I think you have to use a bit of emotional intelligence there, but you've got to give it your best shot 5 to 7 times. And then finally, referrals and creating raving fans. Again, this is amazing research that's been done. Let me start the other way around. 90% of our clients right now, think of your clients, guys. There they are. They're amazing. 90% of them will give you a really positive referral or case study. 90% of them. So for every 10 you've got, that's 9 out of 10. But here's the thing, only 10% of salespeople or business owners ask for them. So that's a bit of a gap there, isn't it, of 80%. Hit me up. When was the last time you asked for a referral or a case study to be written by somebody? All right, okay, if it's confidential, that's absolutely fine. Yesterday, Neil, I am loving your work, but we should do more of this. Today, Shemaine, I love it. Last week, not for years. Stephen, you need to be doing this. Kerry says she offers a referral fee. Oh, Kerry, I like the sound of that. Caroline hasn't done it for a long time. Jazz has been doing it. Tony, never for a written one, but for a lead. Yes, every time, Tony. I use a bit of both, actually, Tony. Rachel, here, 4 strategies. Build a genuine relationship, yeah. Demonstrate your expertise, yeah. Use your time-based deadline to give before you take. Yes, give before you take, absolutely. Not often enough, Anne says, ask but hardly get any. That's a surprise, Marie. I am surprised. Heard a quote last week, 1 testimonial is worth 100 sales calls. Aaron, I absolutely love that. Can I have it? Can I have it for my next webinar? In fact, Aaron, join me on the next webinar. Come on as a panelist. I love it. Thanks very much, Aaron. You're welcome too. So those are the 7 steps to the sale. So we should never be pushing. We should be creating that great relationship, sharing value, and then presenting the solution. So that's the first thing. That's why you probably don't like sales. You might have thought you had to push at the front end. You definitely don't. So a lot of people are taught to do it wrong. They think that sales is Wolf of Wall Street. They're pushing, but actually you need to wait till step 4. And then the other thing why we don't tend to like sales is we don't know what to say and we don't know how to say it, or we don't prepare. That's come up quite a lot as well. So it's all about having good frameworks, good structure, and understanding what sales actually is and being a master. And once you've mastered it, it will literally be life-changing. So here's the good news. Here's the good news. Nobody wants to be sold to, but this is massive. All your clients want to be in positive business relationships, every single one of them. Secondly, all your clients want to be listened to. I'll tell you what, if somebody says to me, how did you get into business, Gilly? They might as well pull up a chair and move in, because I'm not going to shut up for 4 days. We all want to be listened to. And thirdly, clients really do want their problem solving. They really, really do. If we find out what they are and we've got into a good relationship with them. So all of those things are perfect for us to be able to sell. Because if we've got good relationships, we listen to our clients, we help them to solve problems, then they will buy from us. It's pretty much as simple as that. But here's the thing, sales is the lifeblood of any business. And you do need to be a great salesperson. And we've talked about dabbling and dibbling, or are you a master? You definitely need to be a master, and it will change your life. The whole way that you approach your conversations, the way that you approach everything that you do in your business around lead generation will be positive around solving problems, having great relationships, amazing conversations, and listening to your customer. So for me, this is what sales is all about. Selling is solving. Write that down for me. Selling is solving. And the next time you feel like not picking up that phone call or doing some of those sales avoidance techniques, like hiding behind the photocopier or sometimes under the desk, or finding anything else to do like the ironing rather than making the sales call, write down selling is solving, pop it on a post-it note, and stick it on your PC or your laptop. Selling is solving. Write that down. Okay, let's move on. So let me ask you this question. You have joined this webinar for a reason. Possibly because you don't like selling very much, possibly because you want to grow your sales. It could be lots of other reasons. Just let me know in the chat, where in your business or where as a sales professional right now do you need to focus? It could be quite a few of these. Is it that you want to get better results for your clients? In which case that could be something about your product. Do you just want more sales, ultimately? You just want to be better at sales and do more sales. Is it your mindset right now? Because mindset right now is huge, right? 2 weeks ago, I was just lying on the sofa, quite literally watching maths, Married at First Sight Australia. There's no excuse, I know, but we've all been there. We've all been there. Is it leadership? Is it business growth? Or is it something else? Is it lead generation? Is it one of those things? Which one is it? Or is it quite a few of those? Oh, I've got so much going on in the chat. I need to go into it. Right. Tony wants more sales. He wants to turn prospects into an opportunity. Philip wants more clients. Rachel wants everything. Carol wants everything. David needs help with mindset and sales. Okay, we've got a bit of a mixed bag. I'm trying to catch up with you all. You're going, ooh, it's brilliant though. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Right, a mix, sales and mindset. The approach that worked a year ago needs to be adapted. I agree, Angela, I absolutely agree. And this webinar that I'm doing right now is a good example of that, of how things have evolved. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Mindset and sorting out a sales funnel approach, yeah, or having a sales process probably. I don't know if it's Adeline or Adeline, but yeah, absolutely, a sales process is absolutely key. So a bit of a mixed bag there, but sales for me there and lead generation is definitely going to be something that you want to focus on. So we've got a bit of a choice here. Focusing on sales and sales mastery and sales processes and skill, and then our lead generation strategies, we've got a choice. Now, we could do it the hard way, right? This is what we've been focused on for years. I mean, some of this might be a bit outdated, but look at me, look at my age. Now, cold calling, yeah? Who wants to do that? No one, ever. So cold calling, yuck. Warm calling, tepid calling, different ball game. Different ball game completely, because if you're in a warm or a tepid call, those people are already the right people who want to buy from you. They want to buy what it is you've got to sell. Cold calling, you've got absolutely no idea. It can work, but it's not an effective strategy for short-term gain. It can be a good long-term strategy, but let's be honest, who wants to do cold calling? Let me know if you want to do it. Probably not. Here's your other thing you could do. Connect and message hundreds of strangers to find new clients everywhere. What? That's exhausting and boring and mind-numbing, and actually doesn't work very well because they're probably not your ideal clients. You just literally, in the words of Shemaine Robinson, who's joined us, you're just spraying and praying. Now, be honest in the chat. Who else has done a bit of spray and pray? Yeah, be honest. Hit me up in the chat. Right. The other thing, of course, that we were told to do is make sure your website's got amazing SEO. Who's got money for that? I'm not joking, right, guys? My main competitors spend on average between 30 and 40, thousand a month on either Google Ads or on SEO. So if you put in sales training companies in Manchester or Wilmslow into Google, you'll see all these ads arrive. I'm not one of them, because I haven't got that much money a month to spend on it. And who has, quite frankly? All that spray and pray there, it's all up there. So let's just have a look in the comments, the hard way. Oh, look at Shemaine getting all, you know, Shemaine taught me how to spray and pray, Gary says. I'll let you guys chat amongst yourselves. Right, so that's the hard way, but there's definitely an easier way. So let me share my 5 secrets with you. There's a much easier way to grow your sales. Number 1, create a really good lead generation strategy. And guess what? Having a webinar like this one is part of my little secret sauce, because it allows you to create great relationships with people and then get into really good conversations. And it's warm, it's not cold. You need to become a sales master. Stop dabbling and master it. You need to be able to answer the questions, every client wants answering. I'm going to cover these in a minute, by the way. Number 3, you need to have a really good, compelling statement about your business that gets immediate impact and is really clear. You need to be able to build rapport and have amazing relationships. And you need to do a bit more of this, guys. Communicating by phone and avoiding the text and direct mail trap. The phone is our best friend, not for cold calling, but just for having great conversations while we can't right now do anything face to face. And even then, it's still going to be our best friend. And you don't have to have a phone as big as this one. Although you can if you want, don't let me stop you. Right, so let's go through our secrets and let me just do a quick time check. Oh, we're doing quite well. So the first thing you need is a lead generation strategy with a sales plan. There are two ways you can do this working with me and my team. One is through our Sales Skills Mastermind, but I run a standalone course on this as well, how to create your ultimate lead gen strategy. When we talk about lead gen, why is it so important? Well, we need a plan. Why do we need a plan? Because guess what? If we don't know where we're going, any old road will do. So we don't want to be getting on that road, which is a bit like going from, let's be honest, sort of Manchester to London on the A34, when actually the M6 or the M1 would be quicker unless there's an accident. But that analogy didn't really work, did it? But you get the idea. If we don't know where we're going, any road will do. You need a clear plan. Lead gen. Here's just a list of some lead gen strategies. Now, have a look at that and ask yourself, which ones of those have you tried? The ones in red are my main lead gen strategies. So I've got a website, but that's just kind of there. I use LinkedIn and LinkedIn events. Some of you signed up to this via LinkedIn events. I've got emails, and you'll all be getting an email after today. I use webinars like this one, and I've got so many lead magnets. Honestly, I'm ashamed, really. Look at them all. Look at them all. There's so many of them, easy to write, sharing my expertise for free and giving away free value in exchange for which people will give me their information if they're interested in working with me. That works really well. The thing is, we can't do everything and we shouldn't do everything. We need to be really focused. So when you look at that, be honest in the chat. Which ones have you tried in the past and failed with? Hit me up in the chat. Which ones have you tried and failed? Rachel here, understanding the brand and its attributes is providing. I never look at the Google ads, me neither, Kerry, actually. I go straight past those. Katrina's used word of mouth. Yeah, absolutely, but we don't want to over rely on that, Katrina. Those referrals and word of mouth are brilliant. They do create amazing inbound leads, but they're not everything. We definitely need other strategies as well. So what have you tried and what hasn't worked? I'm just going to go back into the chat, just bear with me. What have you tried and what hasn't worked? Google ads haven't worked for us, that's Neil. I've tried everything, Stephen. Stephen says, okay, networking, but online doesn't work. Okay, it hasn't worked for Gary. A few of you trying different things, okay. And it's about understanding you need a strategy. You definitely can't do everything, you shouldn't do everything, but your strategy needs to be part of a clear sales plan. And if you haven't got one, you know, no matter what you think, you will not be getting to where you need to be in the best possible way. Adverts are not great and they're expensive, yeah, I agree. Direct mail did work in the past. You're absolutely right, Angela. When I first started in business, direct mail was massive. Shemaine, who I work with, who's a marketing expert, has this saying where she goes, the power of three. So kind of pick three. As you can see, I've got 5 on there, but they're a bit intertwined. But if you're starting out in a lead generation strategy and you haven't got one or a sales plan, you probably just need to pick 3. So that's the first tip. You need a lead gen strategy, and it needs to be a strategy, not just a spray and pray technique. So the couple of ways in which you can find out about that from me, and I'll tell you about those later on. So the first thing, you need a lead gen strategy. Okay, second thing, you need to become a sales master, and you absolutely do. It's life-changing for you. You need to be able to answer the 5 questions every client wants answering before they'll start giving you their cash. And the first one simply is they just want to know what you do. Secondly, they want to know, well, how will you help me and why should I give 2 hoots? Thirdly, why would they choose you? Fourthly, how do they know that they need you? And finally, how much is it going to cost them? And here's the thing, the cost of their problem needs to be higher than the cost of your solution. That is the tipping point when people buy, where their problem is costing them in time, money, effort, stress, resources, more than the cost of your solution. And the key thing here is question number 4. How will I know that I need you? That's what clients are asking themselves, but how do I know I need this? And the only way they'll find out is if you ask them great questions, get into a great conversation with them and have a consultation with them, known as consultative selling. And the skill of consultative selling is sales mastery, which we teach on our Sales Skills Mastermind. So write those down. Those are 5 key questions. And honestly, not usually answered very well, particularly at networking events. So in the chat, who's been to a networking event recently online where people weren't able even to answer number 1, 2, and 3 succinctly and with clarity? Just hit me up in the chat. I cannot tell you how many networking events I've attended where literally I'm like this. And to be honest, there is a resting Zoom face, isn't there, which is this. Resting Zoom face. But networking events are only as good as the information that you share with people, and they can be absolutely dire. Kerry, actually, who's on this, runs speed networking, which is genius because it stops those wafflers waffling on and on and on about things we don't give two hoots about. We just want to know, what does it do for me? Oh, absolute killer. Right, so we need to be able to do that succinctly. Yes, Tony says he's as guilty as the rest for not asking those questions. Hayley says she often gets people turning away when I mention mental health. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Hayley. And actually what's interesting about that is that might be to do with their own vulnerabilities, which is quite interesting, isn't it? I think quite an interesting little dilemma. So that's the second thing. You need to learn how to answer those questions. Caroline says she's not great at being specific. Caroline, we're going to transform you in the next Sales Skills Mastermind. Caroline's joining us in a couple of weeks, and that is one of the things we're going to work on. One of the ways in which you can work on that is just think about this. As long as a potential client understands what it is you do and it's attractive to them, they'll buy it, yeah? It pretty much doesn't get any more complicated than that. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but here's the thing. It's quite, all of you on this call are really good at what you do, but you may not be great at selling what you do. You might be dabbling rather than being a master in it. So think about that for a minute. Okay, so how to grow your sales. Number 3, you need to stop waffling and create that compelling opening. And one of the things we do very early on when we work together is we create your compelling opening. And I'm just going to share with you now a little video of me delivering a compelling opening, albeit it is obviously using a structure for the purposes of training. It wouldn't usually be like this in real life, but you'll get the gist. And I've got a special guest joining me for this, who's currently stalking me over my right shoulder. So I'll just play this video, and do feel free to put any comments in the chat.
Good morning, I'm Gilly Thompson from the Sales Training Academy. We're one of the UK's leading sales training companies. Simply put, we help your sales team to smash their sales targets. We've recently worked with Dynamic Medical in Leeds. We've actually helped them to double their profits in less than 3 years. And how have we done it? 3 key ways. Number 1, we help them to develop a great sales plan. Number 2, we work with them to put together their sales processes. And number 3, we actually train the sales skills that their team will need to deliver the plan. But what makes us different? Well, we've won awards for our own sales achievement. I won Salesperson of the Year in 2007 and 2008 whilst at Durex Condoms. Plus, our training is output focused, so your team can use the skills they learn the very next day. So how well are your sales team performing?
You're hired.
Okay, that was my husband, by the way, in case any of you were wondering if I actually know Lord Sugar personally. Thank you very much, Aaron. I like the hook question at the end. Thanks, Aaron. That's part of my little technique. So that particular video and that training is actually completely free of charge. And you can access this template, which I'm showing you now, on my online training school. So my online training school is called the Sales Training Academy. I'll tell you more about it later. But you can get all my ebooks on there completely free of charge. There's everything on there, from closing techniques to the right questions to ask your client, to get down to that problem, to how to network, and also creating your elevator pitch or your compelling opening, if you like. So feel free to access all of that. That's just a bit of fun. Okay, right. Number 4. What is the 4th secret? Rapport. being able to build good, healthy relationships. Do you remember clients want this? They want good, healthy relationships. They want to be listened to, and they want their problem solving. So rapport is absolute power. I've nicked that from Tony Robbins, just saying. Fake it till you make it. So rapport is power, but why is it so powerful? It's because people that are in good rapport with us, it means that they know us, they like us, and they trust us. So why is that important? This is why. Here's a little scenario for you. Here's person A, and here is person B. Okay, they are both business owners. They sell exactly the same product at exactly the same price. But for some reason, we just really get on with person A because they're like us. We're in good rapport with them because people like people who are like them or like people they want to be like. Yeah, people like them. Write that down. Rapport is power. People like themselves, or like people they want to be like, so people they aspire to be. That's person A. Person B, we think they're a bit of an arse. We don't really know why. We just don't like them very much. Maybe they're trying to push all their products onto us without actually listening to us and building relationships. So person A we like, person B is an arse. Same product, same price. Who are you going to buy from? Not a difficult one, this, guys. Hit me up in the chat. Not a difficult question. Who are you going to buy from? Absolutely. Not a difficult question, that one. You know, nothing too taxing for a Wednesday lunchtime. Absolutely. A, absolutely. Person A, every day of the week. Okay, so next question for you. See, I can sell it cheaper. Gary, we might think you're an arse though, and then we won't want to buy it from you cheaper or not. Just say it. Anyway, now person A and B. So same people, still really like this person, think this person's an arse. Same product, the price of this one has gone up 10%. Who are you going to buy from? Hit me up in the chat. You're going to buy from A, who you still really like, 10% more, or are you going to buy from B, who's an arse, but it's 10% cheaper? Hit me up, guys. A's, trust is key. Yes, it is, Finn. Angela, yeah, A's I'm getting all A's so far in the chat. Yeah, no one wants to deal with an arse. Correct answer, Aaron. Tony, why would you still turn towards A? Because you trust them, because you don't want to have to deal with B. A and A, yes, absolutely. So you would probably still deal with A. So I just want to do a little exercise with you, if we've got time, to just show how different we all are and why we connect with some people and not with others. I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can. It's just to show how different we are using my DISC certification. So DISC is a behavioural profiling model, or a personality profiling model. And DISC stands for DISC. Dominant, influential, steady, or conscientious. And we tend to be one of these four predominantly, but we're all a bit of everything. So here's the scenario. I want you to identify who you think you are. You could fall, by the way, between any one of these. So you could be a DI, you could be an IS, you could be an SI, you could be an SD, etc., etc. So here's our scenario. We're all at a lift. It's really busy and we've been waiting for ages. Do you do this at the lift? Now, if that's you, identify yourselves. You are a D, potentially a D. It means you're direct, you're results orientated, firm, strong-willed, and a bit forceful. That could be you. If you recognise yourself there, let us know in the chat. Now, is this you at the lift? Really busy, the lift arrives, you take a step back and you go like that, and you let everybody in front of you, because quite frankly, you'd rather avoid the stress and the hassle. Now, if you think that might be you, you're probably an S. Quite steady, you're even-tempered, you're accommodating, patient, humble, and tactful. And straight away, if you're an S, you've got no idea what D's are about. And D's, you've got no idea what S is about, because you're coming at the world from two completely different directions. And that means that you don't always get on with those people. You do generally, but not always. So let's have a look who else you could be. Are you this person at the lift? You've got your coffee in a sales mug, or obviously. And the lift arrives and you're chatting along to everyone. You're having a coffee, possibly a biscuit. You know where everyone's going, what meetings they're going to. You get in, you're still chatting. You know where everybody in that lift is going and what floors they're going to. If that's you, which it's me as well, you could be an I, which means you're outgoing, enthusiastic, perhaps optimistic, high-spirited and lively. Or finally, is this you? You take a step back when the lift arrives. You kind of make sure, you know, there's still some room. You get in the lift, you can see it's busy and you start to panic. You immediately are drawn to the buttons where it says how many people, what's the maximum amount of people are allowed in this lift. I would never do that in a million years. It wouldn't even enter my head. But if that is you, you could be a C. Analytical, reserved, precise, private and systematic. I's have no idea where C's are coming from, and C's have no idea where I's are coming from, because we're all unique and different. And getting into good rapport with people is about embracing and understanding their differences and ensuring that we flex our styles as a sales master to meet the needs of our clients. So there's a few things in the chat. I think people are starting to see who they could be. What's I can't see it. Oh, I is an influencer. Haley's not sure. Louise thinks she's a D outside of work and an I in work. Okay, let me ask you another question, team. Who are your customers predominantly? Your ideal clients, are they Ds? Are they Is? Are they Cs or are they S's? So for example, my ideal clients tend to be a mixture of Ds, Is and S's. It just depends really. So Tony thinks somewhere between, I think he's between a D and an I. Okay. Megan, okay, her customers are Ds and Is. Yeah, okay. Peter's a C. But my mind, okay, Megan, okay. Oh, look at that, it's all come, it's flooding into me. D and C are my customers, right? Okay, so very logical thinking. They're like lots of logical thinking and details and facts. My clients at the moment are Ds. Stephen, they want quick, fast results. No waffling, Stephen. They don't want any waffling, that'll just bore the liver out of them. Marie, bit of a mix. Yeah, okay, my customers vary. Yeah, you do need to adapt, Jazz, that's absolutely true. This is a key skill. This is really how to grow your sales, because this is about having great relationships with people. Caroline thinks the clients are mainly Ds and Cs. Neil, look, I do like DISC or the other variant, but I do find they all lose something in their simplification from Myers-Briggs. The MTPI is not as complicated as something. Okay, yeah, there's so many different models, Neil, isn't there? All, of course, based on Jungian theory, as you will know, Neil. But they're all much of a muchness. This is just for the purposes of showing how different we all are, even from a very, very, very simple exercise. Okay, so this is what I want you to think about. Those relationships and getting into rapport means that we might have to flex to fit the needs of our customers so that we can know them, like them and trust them, and them us. So it works both ways. Okay, finally then, we're right on time. How to grow your sales. You need to follow up at least 5 to 7 times. We talked about that. And use the phone more. Use the phone more. I actually chased up this week a skills broker for a training program I'm a part of in Cheshire called the Accelerate program, who hadn't bothered to phone one of my customers who I'd spoken to last week about some funding for training, because his excuse was he'd emailed them 3 times. I said, have you just thought about picking up the phone to them? You know, just an idea I've had. Small business, working in the office, phone's ringing. Do you know what? They might pick it up. So he did, and then he emailed me back straight away yesterday, still emailed. Say he didn't pick up the phone to me, did he? The frustration of it all. Just use the phone and have great conversations with people. Okay, let's move on. Right, we're nearly there. So I want you to answer this question for me. You've talked a bit about the priorities for your business being sales, being lead gen. You're dibbling, some of you are dabbling, some of you are masters at selling. But what is your absolute focus going to be for your business or for your role for the next 3 months? Is it about bulletproofing your mindset? Do you want to learn to really sell with confidence? Maybe you want to work a bit less. We'd all like a bit of action. Do you want to create a lead gen strategy that works, or are you maybe launching a new product or service? Could be a bit of a mixture of those. Just hit me up in the chat. What are the key focuses for your business? let me know and let's have a look what we've got going on. Okay, working less on sales, Gary says. Lead gen, lead gen, lead gen. Wow, okay, lots of lead gen coming in. All of the above, says Anne. Stephen's got a bit of a mix. Lead gen is, yeah, okay, so lead gen. Lead gen, yeah, Shemaine really wants to look at a new strategy that was launching a new product. My focus is a prospect list, yeah, okay, that's really important, Jazz, as part of your lead gen strategy. Confidence and approach that works, yeah, okay. So a bit of a mixture, but overcoming phone fear, yeah, okay, Finn, right, okay. So the good news is, everything that we talked about on there is what we can cover in the Sales Skills Mastermind. Now, is it a magic wand? No. Is it a silver bullet? No. Will you get more sales mastery and have a lead gen strategy and a sales plan at the end of 8 weeks? Yes, you absolutely will, but you've got to do the work and take action. So what is it? It's one of my programs. I've got a couple of different programs running. This one starts on the 12th of April. Some of you are already signed up. There are so many videos, cheat sheets, frameworks, templates. I've shown you some of those already today. We have bi-weekly coaching calls and we have a weekly accountability session as well with somebody who's an expert at accountability. It drives me nuts, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to ask Megan now to put a link in the chat to the Sales Skills Mastermind. Silver budget and magic bullets, yeah, they don't exist. Megan, will you just put a little link in for me to the Sales Skills Mastermind? Let me show you a bit more about it. Megan's just going to put a link. Okay, there's just a couple of blatant testimonials about it from two very different business owners. Renata, who works for Utility Warehouse, came to me saying, Gilly, I'm already a top performer and I'm a sales expert. I don't think I'm going to learn anything from you. And then she saw one of my sessions and thought, actually, I'm going to learn loads from you. And she joined and she said she's really glad that she did. So it isn't just the basics, you know, it's that clear sales plan. It's the sales mastery. It's also a community and accountability. And Pam says, I've got a larger than life personality. I've got no idea what she can possibly mean. But anyway, she really enjoyed the mastermind, got loads from it, and it's helped her close a lot more business in a really strategic way. So what goes on inside the sales mastermind? Well, I do have other tops. I'm just throwing that out there. That isn't the only top I've got, but this is us in our October mastermind. I think there were 12 of us all together. There's, I think 8 of us on this particular call, and we were just doing a bit of a freeze moment. So yes, we do have a giggle, but we also share lots of learning and lots of knowledge. And this is what the online platform looks like. So it's an online program with a private Facebook group, but as well as that, loads of sessions from me all the way through to hold your hand through the whole course. So that's what it looks like on the inside. So who's it for? It's for anybody who's too reliant on referrals. And if you know that's you, you know, it's probably quite a few of you. If you were definitely avoiding sales or the phone or anything to do with selling, if you need a bit of a giggle, that could be you. If you don't have a lead gen solution, I know many of you don't have a lead gen solution. If you don't have the confidence right now to talk to prospects because you don't know what to say or how to say it, everything is in a template and a framework. It is literally sales by numbers, but with great emotional intelligence and fun thrown in. If you don't have a clear strategy for winning new clients, if you have leads, but you're not converting them or you don't know how to, or if the thought of selling makes you come out in a rash. So if that is you, and if you're that person, and if you're serious about joining it, we start 2 weeks on Monday. I would love to invite you to book a clarity call with me. Now, you know, I said I wasn't very good at technology at the beginning. Check me out, right? That is a barcode, which right now, if you hover your camera over, if it's working, somebody can tell me if it's working or not in the chat, will take you straight to my Calendly page where you can book a call with me. How unbelievably good is that? Can somebody tell me if it actually works? Because if it does, that has blown my VA's mind. And I'm telling you now, she is an absolute tech whiz kid. Look at that. It actually works. Seriously, guys, I am beyond excited that it actually works. Right. Okay, brilliant. So you can book a call with me if you're serious. So if you're serious about the Sales Skills Mastermind and learning loads of stuff from me, absolutely, I would love to see you on a call. Secondly, you can just join my Sales Training Academy. where there are so many free courses, lead magnets and other bits and bobs. I'd love you to join the Sales Training Academy off the back of today. If you're interested in my courses but want to access funding, the good news is you can access 40% funding if you live anywhere in Cheshire or Warrington, or work in Cheshire and Warrington, and you need to book a call with me so I can go through that with you. And if you live in Merseyside, don't ask me where the boundaries is. It's something to do with the colour of your bin. If anyone knows, can they put it in the chat? But if you're a business owner, you can get up to 70% funding. And I think a few of you on the call may have actually done that. So there is so much funding available right now to get you to where you need to be in terms of lead generation and sales mastery. So again, book a call with me if that's what you would like to do and access some funding. And finally, this is winging its way over to you. As soon as this webinar finishes, we will be downloading it, getting our email ready to send out to you all to say thank you for attending. And then you'll get a copy of this free ebook tomorrow on email from me. So I've got literally 5 minutes if anyone's got any questions. If anyone's got any questions, do you want to pop them in the Q&A for me? And Megan, who's my amazing VA, will let me know if I've got anything coming in. In the meantime, let's just have a look at some of the chat. Funding in Wales, probably, Rachel, you can put your details up again. These are the mastermind. Yeah, thank you, Megan. Funding for Wales. Do you know what, Stephen? I don't know, but if you contact your local growth hub, they will be able to let you know. But there's so much funding available now for training. It's literally unbelievable. So absolutely, or book a call with me, Stephen, and we'll go through it together and see if there is funding available. But there's so much funding for training now, you might as well grab it while you can. Yeah, particularly those of you looking at a lead gen strategy, that is something that we'll be doing a lot of work on right at the beginning of the course, as well as we've got a session from, oh, Caroline, it's going to be great. This time, Caroline, with the mastermind, we've got, Shireen's going to do a session on marketing. We've got an amazing lady joining us called Claire Stevenson, who's an absolute social media whiz kid. She's going to do a free session for us as well. And obviously then there's all the sales planning, the lead gen planning, and the content and how to become a sales master from me. So it's going to be an awesome course. Thank you so much. I've got a question coming in. What's your view on leaving voicemails, Finn? Right, Finn, this is my view on it, okay? I never leave voicemails, ever. But that's my own personal view. And that's just because no one ever phones you back. However, people do phone you back if you just do this. Hi, it's Jilly, phone me back. And you know why? Because they can't resist it. Because they cannot resist phoning you back because they want to know what it's about. It's a bit like if you put on an envelope, do not open. Do you know the one? So you put on an envelope, do not open. And of course, all you want to do is open it. So it's a bit like that. But then you need to be prepared that when they call you, they'll kind of know that you kind of tricked them a bit, maybe. So much better to actually book an appointment with them if you can and actually get it in the diary. That's what I would advise. Any other questions from anybody at all? I'm here to answer questions if anyone's got anything else. Oh, we've got some more coming in, I think. Or I don't think we have actually. I think that's it. Hopefully that's that answered. Okay, right. I will look forward to having lots of chats with you on the phone. I know lots of you have booked in already. I think probably 7 or actually, I don't know if all 8 have gone, but nearly everyone's booked in. So thank you. I have loved today. We're going to be doing more webinars throughout the year, including how to run your own webinar, which will be exciting because it's such a great thing to put in your lead gen strategy as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all very soon for my next webinar. Aaron, it's been my absolute pleasure. Rachel, thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Caroline. Bye, Rachel. Bye, Tony. Bye, Finn. Thank you, all of you, so much. And you'll be getting an email from me. Thanks, Gary. Bye, Stella. Yes, keep in touch. Absolutely, I will do. You'll be getting emails from me. Bye, guys. See you soon.